Today we'll do the chapter of coordination compound. Now what are the coordination compound? These are the compound in which the central atom is linked to the number of ions or neutral molecules by coordinate bond. That is, by the donation of the lone pair of electron by these ions or the neutral molecule to the central metal atom. Like if you have in the coordination compound, if you have metal atom and the ligands are attached to it, these can be 4 or these can be 6, and they form the coordinate bond with each other. The bond present between the metal and the ligand is the coordinate bond, where the ligand can be atom ion molecule which give the electron to the metal atom and they form coordinate bond. And this 4 or 6, these are the coordination number. These are the coordination number. And here you have K2 and here you have sulfate ion. These are the ionizable valencies. These are the ionizable valencies. So this is your metal atom, central metal atom, and these are the ligands. Ligands are the donor. They give the electron to the central metal atom, and the bond present between them is a strong bond. And this branch of chemistry in which we deals about these compounds, that is known as coordination chemistry. Now what about the type of the complexes? There are three type of complexes. The complexes in which they possesses net positive charge, cationic, negative charge, anionic, and no net charge, that is called neutral complex. CONH3 whole 6 3 positive. If 3 positive charge is there, that is cationic. If negative charge, AgCN whole twice negative charge is there, anionic, and if there is no charge, that is called neutral complexes. Next is the Werner coordination theory. Now Alfred Nobel, Swiss chemist, he will formulate the basic idea of the structure of organic compound. And according to the Werner, the concept of the primary valency and secondary valency for the metal ion came into our knowledge. What is primary valency? Primary valency, like for example CrCl3. So 3Cl, so primary valency is 3. CoCl2 2. PdCl2 is 2. And cobalt chloride, when they react, like CoCl2, when they react with the ammonia, then the sum of the chloride ion could be precipitated as AgCl on adding excess of silver nitrate also in cold, and these are termed as the isomer. Now this is a little bit complicated. Now suppose this is the example, CoCl3.6 ammonia, when it gives 3 AgCl, because when you react this with the AgCl, then all the 3 Ag, when we react this compound with AgNO3, then 3Cl and 3, like suppose Ag is there and they are moving out and they are forming 2 AgCl. Now in the next reaction you can see 2 mole AgCl and 1 ammonia has reacted. In the next reaction, here you have 2 ammonia from this side, they have reacted, so and they are giving 1 mole of AgCl, and so on. And their the color also changes depending upon the chloride ion which are present outside the coordination sphere. This square bracket is known as coordination sphere, which we'll study in detail also later on. Coordination sphere, right? Now according to the postulate, in the coordination compound there are 2 type of valencies or linkages, primary and secondary. Primary is ionizable and is satisfied by the negative ion. Ionizable, I told you, the one which is present outside the coordination sphere, that is your ionizable. So that ionizable valency, the ions which are present outside the coordination sphere, is primary valency. Secondary valency, the one which is present within the coordination sphere, that is called coordination number. Like you have M, L4 or L6, L4 or L6. So L4 or L6 is the coordination number of the metal ion, and that is fixed for the metal. The ion of the group bound by the secondary linkages, they have the arrangement corresponding to the different coordination numbers. So ML4 or ML6, the one which is present inside is secondary valency, the one which is present outside is primary valency, which is ionizable. Now in the modern formulation, the arrangement is called coordination polyhedra. Now square bracket are the coordination entities or the complexes, the ion which is outside the square bracket are called counter ion. And he further postulated octahedral, tetrahedral, square planar geometrical shapes. Now CONH3 whole 6 3 positive. CONHCl NH3 whole 5 2 positive, COCl2 NH3 whole 4 2 positive. These are the octahedral entities. NiCO4 PtCl4 2 negative. These are tetrahedral and the square planar entities. Now this is the compound answer though I have given, but still will first of all understand. On the basis of the following observation made with aqueous solution, assign secondary valencies to the metal. Like PdCl2 4 ammonia. When moles of AgCl precipitated by AgNO3. Now the valencies which is already given, these are the primary valency, and the primary valencies were the one which are outside the coordination sphere, and these were the ionizable. And they are asking the secondary valency which is not ionizable. It means the one which is present within the sphere. So in this compound they have already said that the 2 are the primary valency. It means 2Cl, they are outside the coordination sphere. So what is there in the coordination sphere? Pd ammonia whole 4. Pd ammonia whole 4. So this is the secondary valency. Right. Now in the next case, like NiCl2 dot 6 water. 2Cl is outside the coordination sphere. They have already said. Now they are asking how many are there within the coordination sphere. So 2 are outside and 6 will be inside. So the formula will be like NiH2O whole 6 and 2Cl outside the coordination sphere. Then is PtCl4 dot 2HCl. Now there is nothing is outside the coordination sphere. It means all the compound they are within the coordination sphere, that is 4Cl and 2HCl. So the secondary valency is 6. Then is COCl3 dot 4 ammonia. Now total are 3 plus 4 6. So 1 is outside the coordination sphere. So out of 7, 1 is out. So the inside is 6. So secondary valency is 6. Then is PtCl2 dot 2 ammonia. Now in this case 2 plus 2 4, and nothing is outside the coordination sphere. It means all are within the coordination sphere. So secondary valency is a 4. Now the difference between the double salt and the complex compound. First of all, in the easy language I am explaining you what is the double salt. Like you have carnallite, example KCl MgCl2 dot 6 water. This is the formula for carnallite. Or you can take the example of Mohr salt. Now the double salt is formed from the KCl and MgCl2, 2 different kind of the salt, and when you dissolve in the water or any other reaction you will do, they'll completely break down into its ion, like K positive Cl negative, Mg2 positive Cl negative plus 6 water. So they are completely loses their identity. They'll completely dissociate into the ions. They'll not exhibit the same property as that the original compound had. But in the complex compound, like you have K3 FeCN6. This is the example of the coordination compound or the complex compound, and when you dissolve or do some reaction, it changes into 3K positive plus FeCN6 3 negative. FeCN6 3 negative. So 3K positive and FeCN6 3 negative. So there the bond between the Fe and Cn is intact, and only the K positive is, which is the primary valency, is moving out. So they are not losing their identity. So the difference between the double salt and coordination compound, they consist of 2 simple salt in equimolar proportion, like example I told you, and these are the simple salt which are formed may or may not be in the equimolar proportion. In the double salt they exist only in the solid state, and aqueous solution they dissociate completely into the ion. Complex compound, they exist in the solid state as well as in the aqueous solution. This is because even in the solution, complex ion does not dissociate into ions. Third, they are the ionic compound and do not contain coordinate bond. Complex compound, they may or may not be ionic, but the complex part always contain a coordinate bond, because there is no coordinate bond in the carnallite, while in case of coordination compound there is coordinate bond. Properties of double salt is same as that of the constituent compound, and they are different from the constituent compounds. In the double salt, the metal ion shows its normal valency, while in case of 2 type of valencies are there, as we have already done, primary and secondary. Double salt loses its identity because it completely segregates into its ions, while coordination compound, they retain their identity, they will not lose their identity in the solution. Like double salt example is carnallite, Mohr salt, FeSO4, ammonium sulfate, and 6 water. While in case of coordination compound, the complex ions such as FeCN6 4 negative of K4 FeCN6 and do not dissociate ion to Fe2 positive and cyanide ions. Next is the coordination entity. It constitutes a central metal atom or the ion bonded to the fixed number of ion or molecule. For example, you have COCl3 NH3 whole thrice. This is the coordination compound in which cobalt ion is surrounded by 3 ammonia and 3 chloride ion. While other examples are these. So that is the coordination entity, that complete compound. Then is the central metal atom or ion. As I have already discussed with you, that metal atom which has the fixed number of the ion or group bound in a definite geometric arrangement. It can be 4, it can be 6. That's the central metal atom with which they are linked is called central atom or the ion. For example, you have NiCl2 H2O whole 4 and so on. In all these things you can see 2 plus 4 6, 1 plus 5 6, and this is 6. So they possesses Ni2 positive, CO3 positive and Fe3 positive charges. And these central atom or ion, they are also referred to as Lewis acids. Then is the ligand. These are the ion or molecule which are bound to the central metal atom in a coordination entity. They can be simple ion like you have Cl negative, water, ammonia, larger ion like you have diethylamine, that is NH2, CH2, CH2, NH2, or even the macromolecules such as protein. Unidentate. Unidentate means the one point of attachment. Dentate means tooth. So when a ligand is bound to the metal atom through a single donor atom, that is called unidentate. Like example is Cl minus, water, ammonia. But when they are attached with a 2 donor atom, then it is called bidentate. So the main example is ethylene diamine, which you can say ethane 1,2-diamine. So they have the 2 point of attachment of nitrogen. Similarly, oxalate ion, they have CO negative and CO negative. So they are the mainly 2 examples. Ethylene diamine will write like En and oxalate ion will write like OX. Right? So these are the didentate or the bidentate ligands. Polydentate, when the several donor atoms are present in the single ligand, then it is called poly. The best example is EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetate. Right? It can bind to the 2 nitrogen and 4 oxygen atom, like you have ethylene diamine. In the ethylene diamine you have CH3NH2, CH2NH2 and CH2NH2. Now if I'll remove these 4 hydrogen and will put oxalate ion, like you have tetraacetate. Acetate is your CH2CO minus, CH2COO minus, then CH2COO minus, CH2COO minus. So this is your ethylene diamine tetraacetate 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point of attachment. This is hexadentate ligand. Then is chelating ligand. When a di or polydentate ligand uses its 2 or more donor atoms simultaneously to bind with the single atom, like you have CH2N H2, suppose it is there, CH2NH2, and they combine with the platinum. So platinum, this is a 5-membered ring is forming with the single metal ion. This is called chelate ligand. And number of such ligating groups is called denticity of the ligand, and such complexes are called chelate complexes, and they are the more stable than the similar complexes containing unidentate ligand. So this 5 ring compound, that is called chelation. Then is the ambidentate ligand, which have 2 donor atoms and either of the 2 ligands in the complex, like you have NO2. So NO2 that is your nitrate, it can be nitride ONO minus. Similarly, you have SCN minus, it can be NCS minus. Thiocyanato and isothiocyanato, which can coordinate through the sulfur or the nitrogen atom. Then is the coordination number. Coordination number in the simple language, that the number of the ligand which are attached with the metal atom, like Ml4, so coordination number is 4. If you have metal attached with the 6 ligand, then the coordination number is 6. Like in the example, you can see that PtCl6 2 minus, in the platinum 6 ligands are attached, so coordination number is 6. In the nickel, the 4 ligands are attached, so coordination number is 4. So it is the number of the ligand or the donor atom attached to the central metal atom. Then is the coordination sphere, that square bracket in which metal atom and the ligand is attached to it. That is called coordination sphere. And ionizable groups always we write outside the coordination sphere, so that is the counter ion. Like in this is the coordination sphere and this is the counter ions. Then what is coordination polyhedron? The arrangement of the ligand atom which are directly attached to the central atom. It defines a coordination polyhedron about the metal atom. Like you have CONH3 whole 6, it is octahedral, NiCO4 is tetrahedral, PtCl4 2 minus is square planar. So that is a kind of the shape which we are giving to these compounds. Then is the oxidation number of the metal ion. Oxidation number of the central atom in the complex, it is defined as the charge that it would carry if all the ligands are removed along with the one electron pair that are shared with the central metal atom. And we always write in the Roman numerals. We'll do number of example, like suppose you have CuCN whole 4 and 3 negative, and we want to calculate the oxidation number of copper. So we'll consider it as X. Now Cn carries the -1 charge, this is -4, and whatever is written outside the coordination sphere, we'll write it like this. So this is your X -3 plus 4, X is equal to +1 oxidation state it possesses. Now homoleptic and heterolaptic complexes. If only one kind of donor atom is there, homoleptic. If more than one kind of the donor atom is heterolaptic. Like here all the ammonia is present. So this is homoleptic. And heterolaptic when you have ammonia as well as Cl2, that is your heterolaptic complexes. Then how to give the name to the coordination compound, and this nomenclature is little bit different from the one which you did in the organic chemistry. Now the first rule says that central atom is listed first. First of all, we'll see that what in the coordination sphere, which one is the central metal atom. Like for example, NiCO4. Now Ni is the central atom. Now here it is only the single kind of the ligand. Second, the ligand, they are listed in the alphabetical order. Like if you have M and here you have CH3 whole 4 and you have Cl2 suppose. Now NH3 we always write like amine, and Cl we always write like chlorido. Now in alphabetical order, A comes first and C comes later on. So while writing, first you will write tetraamine and dichlorido. Remember, in the ligand name, tetra and di we never consider for the alphabetical order. We will consider amine A, chlorido C. Then polydentate ligand are also listed in the alphabetically, and in the abbreviated ligand, the first letter of abbreviation is used to determine the position of the ligand in the alphabetical order. As I explained you, amine A will consider chlorido C. So A you will write first and C you will write later on. Then formula of the entire coordination entity, whether the charged or not, they are enclosed in the square bracket. When the ligands are polyatomic, they are enclosed in the parenthesis, and the ligand abbreviations are also enclosed in parenthesis. There should be no space when writing you are writing the ligand and the metal within the coordination sphere. When the formula of the charge coordination entity is written without that of counter ion, the charge indicated outside the coordination square bracket as a right subscript within the number before the sign. The charge of the cation is balanced by the charge on the anion. Then is the naming of the mononuclear compound. The name of the coordination compound are derived by the principles of additive nomenclature, that group that surround the metal ion. We will directly come for the naming. Cation is named first in both positively and negatively charged coordination entity. Ligands are named in the alphabetical order, as I have already discussed. Name of the anionic ligand always end with the O. Aqua for amine for water, amine for NH3, carbonyl for CO, nitrosyl for NO. Prefix mono, di, tri are used to indicate the number of the individual ligands in the coordination entity. And when it is didentate ligand, then we use bis, tris, tetrakis for the ligands which they refer to the placed in the parenthesis. Oxidation state of the cation, anion and the neutral coordination entity is always written by the Roman numerals. If the complex is cation, then metal is named as the same as the element. Like if you have anion, then the metal, if you have anion, then it is end with the 8. Like if you have cobalt, then the metal ion name will be written like cobaltate. And if you have Fe, it is written like ferrate. If Cu, it is cuprate. If silver, it is argentate, and so on. Like this is the compound for which we are going to give the name, though it is very complicated, looks like this, but otherwise it would be very easy. Now the first is your, like you have Cr, NH3 whole thrice, water whole thrice, and outside the coordination sphere this is Cl3. Now the first thing what you will do, you'll calculate the oxidation number or the state X. Now amine is a neutral ligand, water is a neutral ligand, they do not carry any charge. Cl carry -1, so this is -3 equal to 0, so this is X equal to 3, so this is +3. The second step says see that what is the charge present within the coordination sphere. +3, 0, 0. So within the square bracket the charge is plus, so this is cationic complex. In the cationic complex name, with the name of the metal atom there will be no change, right? So here it will be, and you'll write the alphabetical order. In the alphabetical order, amine comes first, aqua comes later on. So this is triamine, triaqua, chromium 3 chloride. So triamine, triaqua and chromium and then 3 chloride. So first we'll write the name of the ligand alphabetically, then name of the metal will write, then the coordination that oxidation number you will write, and whatever is outside the coordination sphere that you will write. If suppose something is there, then you'll write it here. Remember, will not write trichloride, will always write chloride. This is another example. Like you have CO, this is ethylene diamine, so we can write like En whole thrice also, and then this is whole twice. Suppose if you are not taking, we'll take sulfate ion, this we are not considering suppose. Now in this case X, first of all again oxidation number you will calculate. En is a neutral ligand and sulfate carries -2 charge, that is X is equal to +2. So this is +2 and this is 0 and this is a -2. Right. Now the second again will calculate the charge within the coordination sphere or bracket, this is positive. Now when it is a positive, this is cationic complex, so the name will come like cobalt. Now if we'll give the name, because this is a bidentate ligand, we'll write tris. Tris ethylene diamine, you can write ethane 1,2-diamine, cobalt. And here, because here we are considering, we are not considering this, so we are considering 2-sulfate. If we consider here at twice and then thrice, then it is only the sulfate ion, right? Now what we'll do, write the formula of the coordination compounds in this. Like you have first tetraamine, aqua and chlorido cobalt 3 chloride. Now in this the coordination compound you have central metal atom as cobalt, right? So here we have the first compound we are doing, we have cobalt first. Then you have tetraamine, aqua, chlorido, we'll write alphabetically. So amine will write first, NH3 whole 4, then we'll write water, and then we'll write dichlorido, that is Cl, this is chlorido, so we'll write Cl, and then outside the square bracket chloride ion. Now here we can see that the oxidation number is 3. Now when this is 3, then if suppose we'll calculate this, then this is 0, this is 0, this is -1, this is -1. So if we'll calculate, then this is your 2 but what we want 3, and we cannot change the number here because they have already specified tetra and so on. So what we can do, we can write 2 over here. If we'll write 2 over here, because we are not mentioning dichloride, we are mentioning chloride. So this becomes x minus 3 equal to 0 and x is equal to 3. So for the oxidation number, we can change the numbers outside the coordination sphere. We cannot change within the coordination sphere. Now next is suppose B, potassium tetrahydroxidozincate. Now here, what is the central metal atom? Zincate, that is Zn. So potassium, which is will come here like K, zinc, and tetrahydroxo means OH whole 4. Now in this compound you can see that oxidation state it is 2. But if we'll calculate here plus 1 plus x minus 4 equal to 0, this is plus 3. This is 3. Now when this is 3 and we want 2, what we'll do? We'll do 2 over here. Now if it is 2 over here, 2 plus x minus 4 equal to 0, this is plus 2. Then is your potassium trioxylato-aluminate. Then this is C. Potassium trioxylato. Potassium obviously will come here. Trioxylato-aluminate. Aluminium and trioxylato means OX whole thrice. Aluminate 3. Right? So potassium trioxylato-aluminate. Now if we'll calculate, this is your minus 2 charge. So plus 1 plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. This becomes a plus 5. And what we want only 3. So this becomes K3, sorry, K3. So now if you will calculate 3 plus x minus 6 equal to 0, this is plus 3. So remember, what is there outside the coordination sphere you can change. What is within the coordination sphere you cannot change. So to bring the oxidation state as it is given in the formula, we can change the numbers outside the coordination sphere. Now we'll write the IUPAC name of these compounds. Like the first is your PTNH3 whole twice, Cl and NO2. Now to write the oxidation number, first of all, we'll see the central metal atom, that is platinum, and we'll calculate the second step, that is oxidation state. X, this is 0, this is minus 1, this is minus 1, right? So here the charge is minus 2 equal to 0, x is equal to plus 2. So here the platinum charge is plus 2. Then the third step is to calculate the charge within the coordination sphere. Charge within the coordination sphere. Within the sphere. Now charge within the sphere is again 2 and 2. This is the neutral complex. So 8 word will not come. That comes with the charge within the coordination sphere is minus. Now we'll give the name, and name we always give alphabetically. So amine and then Cl and then N. So here it will be diamine, chlorido, nitrito, because this is ONO. So nitrito, N will write, and the central metal atom is platinum, and the charge outside the coordination sphere is 2. So this is the name of the compound. Next we are doing K3Cr C2O4, which is oxalate ion whole thrice this. Now first of all, again we'll calculate the charge. So this is your 3 plus chromium is x, this is minus 2, this is minus 6 equal to 0, x is equal to plus 3. So this is plus 3 and this is minus 2 into 6, this is 6. Now charge within the coordination sphere is negative, this is anion complex. Now what will the name will give? Potassium trioxylato chromium will not come because this is negative, so we'll do chromate and then 3, right? Then is your the next one more we'll try, COCl2 En hold twice, and Cl. Now we'll calculate the charge within the coordination sphere. This is x minus 2, 0, and this is minus 1 equal to 0, x equal to plus 3, this way. Now in this, this is plus 3, this is minus 2, this is 0. The charge within the coordination sphere is positive, right? So cobaltate will not come, cobalt will come. And now we'll give the name. This is chlorido, this is ethylene diamine. So C comes first. So we'll write the name dichlorido bis ethylene diamine cobalt 3 chloride. So this is cobalt 3 chloride. So our next topic is isomerism. Iso means same, mers means type. So these are two or more compounds that have the same chemical formula but different arrangement of the atom, and they also differ in one or more physical and chemical properties. They are of two types, stereoisomerism and structural isomerism. Stereo are of two types, geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. Structural isomerism are of four types, linkage, coordination, ionization and solvate isomerism. Now we'll study it in detail. Now stereoisomers, same chemical formula but have the chemical bond, but they have different arrangements. Now first is your geometrical isomerism or geometric isomerism. This type of isomerism arises in heteroleptic complexes where more than two different kind of the atoms are present, and the coordination compound can be 4 or 6. First example is MX2Cl2, like in the square planar complexes. If 2Cl they are present on the same side and ammonia they are on the same side, then this arrangement is called cis, and if they are on the opposite side we call it as trans. Then MABXL. ABXL show 3 isomers. Like you have MABXL, ABXL, right? In this, all the 4 kind of the groups are different. So there can be, if the similar is AB, they are of similar kind, they are on one side, and XL on other side. So they possess 2 cis and 1 trans. Such isomerism is not possible in tetrahedral entities, because in the tetrahedral compound, if you have like A, B, X, L, then it is very difficult to write cis and trans, whether they are on the similar side or on the opposite side. So we can explain only for the octahedral complex. Tetrahedral complexes cannot be explained with the help of these compounds. Then MX2Cl4, like suppose this is 6 is a coordination number. If all the similar kind of the element compound they are on the same sides, that this is cis, and if any change occurs in that continuity, then that becomes a trans. Then this type of isomerism is in the bidentate ligand, like you have ethylene diamine. Now like suppose you have MX2, we can write like this also, we can write like this also. Like if you have, this is the octahedral complex, and you have Cl and Cl, and you have ethylene diamine here and ethylene diamine here, right? So 1, 2, this is 3, 4. All the 4 locations are occupied by ethylene diamine, and 5 and 6 by any other. Then this is your cis. But if there will be any change, if the continuity is not there, like suppose you have Cl and Cl and ethylene diamine is here, then this is trans. Then this is trans. Then another type of geometrical isomerism is in the octahedral complexes, like Ma3B3. Like 3 are same kind of the ligand, 3 are different kind of the arrangement. Like if you can see the cobalt NH3 whole thrice, NO2 whole 12. Now all the 3 NO2 they are on the same side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all 1, 2, 3 occupied by same kind of the ligands, and 5, 6 are 4, 5, 6 by the different. But if there is that continuity is not there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now ammonia in first and the second position, and the fourth is occupied by ammonia, and then NO2 is like this, then this is your meridional or mer. So this is your facial, this is FAC isomer, and this is your meridional, that is mer isomer. Meridional, that is mer isomers. Now, why is geometrical isomer not possible in tetrahedral complexes? Having the two different type of the unidentate coordinated with the central metal atom. This I have just explained you that in tetrahedral complexes, like you have your tetrahedral complexes like this, like even if you have A, B, C and D, they do not show geometrical isomers because the relative position of the unidentate ligand attached to the central metal atom are same. Their position, their location is same with respect to the central metal atom. So that is why that geometrical isomerism is not possible in case of tetrahedral complex, because there should be some disparity, two are on the one side, two on the other side, but here their location is same from all the sides. Then is the optical isomers. Enantiomers we have already done in haloalkane, haloarene also we have studied this topic, that enantiomers are the mirror image of each other and they cannot be superimposed on one another. They are called enantiomers and they cannot be superimposed and are called chiral also. And they rotate the plane polarized light towards right and left. The one which rotate the plane polarized light toward right are called dextrorotatory. The one which towards the left side called levorotatory. Now in the coordination entity, like suppose PtCl2 En whole twice. In this they are asking that cis and trans draw the optical isomers. Like in this case, here this is cis. This you can write like this. Suppose if I am writing like this compound like cobalt, if it is like this, Cl, Cl, En, and this is En, right? And the mirror image of this compound is like you have CO, Cl, En, and then is En, right? Now these are the mirror image of each other. One is dextro, one is levo. But if you will try to superimpose this compound over the other, you cannot. So they are non-superimposable mirror image. Now if they are asking you to draw the structure of this geometrical isomers of this particular compound, then Fe, because this is your octahedral complex, the number of ligands are 6. So here if the cis you would like to draw, then ammonia and ammonia on one side, Cn, Cn, Cn and Cn on another side. So this is cis because both the ammonia on one side and all the Cn on other side. And if the trans structure you need to draw, then Cn, Cn, Cn and Cn, and ammonia on this side as well as on this side. So this is your cis and this is your trans, right? Now another example that out of the following two coordination entities, which is chiral, optically active, and which is achiral. Now if we'll write Cr, Cl, cis they are asking us to prepare. So if I'll take like this Cl, Cl, and if I'll make OX oxalate here and oxalate here, and if I'll draw the mirror image of this, like you have chromium, Cl, and here is Cl and OX and OX, this. Like if this kind of the arrangement is there, so they are non-super mirror imposable of each other, and this is optically active. This is optically active. But if I'll take trans of the same, if we have this kind of the arrangement, OX, OX, Cl, Cl. If you have Cr, Cl, Cl, OX and OX. This is the trans kind of the arrangement. And if I try to superimpose one above the other, you can superimpose. So this is your optically inactive. This is optically inactive. Next is the linkage isomers. Linkage isomerism arises in the coordination compound containing ambidentate ligand, like you have NCS and SCN. So in NCS, the linkage will occur through nitrogen. In SCN, the linkage will occur from the sulfur. So if in a compound, like suppose you have metal and the ligands are attached to it, like you have ammonia, 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 and on one side you have ONO, and they'll ask you to prepare the linkage isomer of the same compound. Then it will be like this, and in place of ONO it is NO2. So ammonia, ammonia, ammonia. So in here it is your ONO and here it is NO2, right? So that will be the linkage isomers where the ambidentate ligands are involved. There is a coordination isomerism. This type of isomerism arises from the interchange of the ligands between the cationic and anionic entities of different metal atom. Like suppose there is a CONH3 6 and CrCN6. Here cobalt is linked with ammonia and Cr linked with the CN. But when they'll ask you to prepare the coordination isomerism, what we have done, now ammonia we have attached with the chromium. Here it is attached with the cobalt. Now chromium attached with the ammonia, cobalt attached with the CN. So ammonia ligand is bound to the Cr3 positive and CN negative ligand bound to the CO3 plus. Then is the ionization isomerism. This type of the isomerism, when the counter ion in the complex salts itself is a potential ligand and displaces the ligand, which will then become the counter ions. The definition is difficult, but the example I'll explain you. Like you have CONH3 5SO4. Now this I have already told you, this is the primary valency which cleaves. So in case if I'll add the AgNO3, they'll give the yellow PPT of AgBr, which proves that this Br is outside the coordination compounds. But when what I'll do, the coordination this ionization isomer of the same compound, sulfate I'll move outside and Br I'll move inside. So this is the way I have just exchanged the position. And when how we can prove that, if I'll do the sulfate test, I'll add barium chloride to it, it forms barium sulfate white PPT, which indicates that the yes, sulfate is outside the coordination sphere. So formula is same, but they are giving different ions in the compound. Then is the solvate isomerism. Solvate isomerism, we also call it as hydrate isomerism, where the water is involved as a solvent. And the solvent isomers differ by whether or not a solvent molecule is directly bonded to the metal ion. It can be present as a free solvent in the crystal lattice. Like example is there, CrH2 6Cl3, and they'll ask you to prepare the isomers, solvent isomers of this compound. So what we are doing here, like suppose you have CrH2O6 and Cl3 here. So what we'll do, we'll put one water outside, one Cl inside the coordination sphere. Now in this case, CrH2O5, one Cl inside, Cl2 and dot water. CrH2O4, Cl2 inside, Cl dot 2 water. CrH2O whole thrice, Cl3, and here is 3 water. Right, so these are the various isomers of the same compound. Now indicate the type of isomerism exhibited by the following and draw the structure. So we'll see the type of the isomerism. Like in this compound, first compound CrH2O whole twice, C2O4 whole twice. Now in this isomerism, because water is involved, so this kind of the isomerism will be yours hydrate isomerism. So this is your hydrate isomerism structure we have just drawn, or solvate. In this CO and En whole thrice and Cl3, in this that the compound, it is En is inside and the Cl3 is outside the coordination sphere, and here you can draw the geometrical isomers of the compound. So this kind of the compound is geometrical isomer. isomerism. So COEN whole thrice, they possesses geometrical isomers. The next is yours. The next is your CONH3 whole twice. So in this compound, this is also possesses geometrical isomerism, or you can say this is the Cl3 is there. COEN whole thrice, Cl3 is there. So it possesses optical isomerism, like dextro as well as levo you can prepare. So in this can be the optical isomerism, because you can draw the cis as well as trans. In the upper case, this can be hydrate and this can be the geometrical isomers, again cis and trans you can form. Then in the next case you have CONH3 whole 5, NO2 NO3 whole twice. In the third case, because here NO2 is there, so it can be NO2, it can be ONO. So this kind of the isomerism is a linkage isomerism, because ambidentate ligands are involved. Next is yours PTNH3 whole twice, water and Cl2. Here again you can form the cis and trans. So geometrical isomerism is possible in this case. So here is geometrical isomerism. Next, give the evidences that these are the ionization isomers, that we can prove with the help of the reaction. Just now I have told you, like if you have CONH3 whole 5 Cl SO4, and if you react with the BaCl2, then they form BaSO4, PPT will form. That PPT will form. Similarly, if you have CONH3 whole 5 Cl and outside the bracket SO4, and if I'll add AgNO3 to it, then no reaction, which proves that Cl is within the coordination sphere. This is not outside the coordination sphere. Now if I'll take CONH3 whole 5 SO4 Cl, the second compound, and if I'll react with the AgNO3, that form AgCl and the PPT will form for this. It means that Cl is outside the coordination sphere. But the same, if we'll react with BaCl2, then no reaction will occur. So BaCl2 if we'll react, then no reaction will occur, which indicate that sulfate is present within the coordination sphere. Then now we'll do the bonding in the coordination compound by the help of valence bond theory. Now according to this theory, metal atom or the ion are under the influence of ligand, can use its N-1D, NS-NP or NS-NP-ND for the hybridization. And various kind of the definite geometries are there, octahedral, tetrahedral, square planar, etc. And the ligand, when they attach to the central metal atom, they donate electron for the bonding. Like if the coordination number is 4 sp3, shape can be tetrahedral, 4 dsp2 square planar, 5 sp3d trigonal bipyramidal, 6 sp3d2 octahedral, and 6 d2 sp3 can be octahedral. Like valence bond theory you can easily do when we do the example. Like first example is your CONH3 whole 6 3 positive. This is the example of first example of coordination bond theory. Like you have CONH3 whole 6, like you have cobalt atomic number is 27 and outer electronic configuration is 3s2 3d7 4s2. Now here first we'll write 3d7 4s2, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and 3 unpaired electrons are there. So this is your 3d, then 4s, and then your 4p. So this is the cobalt. And when 4s2, so this is cobalt. When we write the structure of cobalt, 3 positive means 3 electron moves out, 2 from here and 1 from here. So when the electrons move out, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So when these electron moves out, then it becomes 4s empty and 4p. And ammonia, whether it is a strong ligand or weak ligand. Remember always that ammonia is strong ligand in case of cobalt. This is the special case which you need to learn. Remember that strong ligand in case of cobalt. So in case of strong ligand, these unpaired electron will get paired up. Whenever the strong ligand is there, these unpaired electron, they get paired up, and rest of the orbitals are vacant. Now we'll draw the structure of the complex when the ammonia ligand will give the electron in this vacant orbital, CONH3 whole 6 3 positive. So ammonia will give the electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So ammonia is giving electron, 6 ammonia are giving the electron in these 6 vacant d orbital, 3d, 4s, 4p. So ammonia is giving 2 electron in d, so this is d2, 1 in s and 3 in p, d2sp3. Shape will be octahedral. Shape is your this is octahedral, and this is when the ligand is giving the electron in the 3d orbital, then we call it as low spin complex. This is low spin complex. And when the ligand give, when suppose this is occupied and they are giving outside the 4p in the 4d orbital, then this is outer orbital, high spin and outer orbital. And whenever the low spin is there, we call it as inner orbital complex. Inner orbital complex, right? Then is in the formation of this complex, inner 3d orbital was involved. So this is inner orbital low spin complex. And when the electron they are giving in the outer 4d orbital, that is your outer orbital or high spin or spin free complex. Like for example COF6 3 negative. Now we'll do for the cobalt. Again 3d7 4s2. And when you will calculate the oxidation number of the same, x minus 6 equal to minus 3, x is equal to plus 3. So cobalt 3d7 4s2 plus 3 oxidation state. So in the cobalt 3 plus, when we draw the structure, first is cobalt. Now in case of cobalt 3d7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. This is 3d7 and 4s2 is this, right? Now after the removal of 3 electron, these moves out. You are left with this. Then 6 electrons will give the electron, 6 ligand will give the electron COF6 3 negative. When the electron moves out in the COF6 3 negative, when after the removal of 3 electron, 2 will move from here, sorry, 1 will move from this electron. So this comes out to be, this is your single electron. This becomes a single and this is single, 2 and 1 electron moves from here. So this becomes 2 from here, 1 from here. So this becomes this kind of the structure. Fluorine is a weak ligand. Fluorine is a weak ligand. So weak ligand, no pairing will occur. There will be no pairing. And in this case 1, 2, because no pairing, the electron will remain as it is. Fluorine will give the electron in the 4s, 4p and 4d. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. This is 4d. So 1 in S, 3 here, 2 here. So the hybridization is sp3d2. Shape will be octahedral because they are giving the electron in the outer 4d orbital, 4d orbital. So this is your high spin complex and outer orbital complex, which is totally reverse what we did earlier, outer orbital complex. Another example is NiCl4 2 negative. Nickel is 3d8 4s2 because the atomic number is this. Nickel 2 positive is 3d8 and 4s0. So directly we'll draw the structure. 3d 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 4s2. For this is for nickel. When we'll remove these 2 electron will move out. After the removal of 2 electron, you are left with this 4s and 4p electrons vacant. Now cobalt will give the electron and chlorine will give the electron. Suppose NiCl4 2 negative is there. So 1 Cl will give the lone pair, 2 Cl will give the lone pair and 4 Cl. Now they are giving the electron in 1 in S and 3 in P. So this is sp3 tetrahedral. And this is your diamagnetic. In the previous cases, if all the electrons are paired, that is diamagnetic. If it is unpaired, that is paramagnetic. Here we'll not consider low spin, high spin, outer and inner orbital complexes because electrons are not, ligand is not giving the electron in the 3D as well as 4D complexes. Another example is NiCO4. In nickel, again 3d8 4s2. And because here this is a neutral complex, no electrons will move out. So here this is your 3d 4s 4p nickel 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is for nickel and nothing will move out. So when we draw the structure of NiCO4, CO will give the electron 1 and no pairing will occur, and because this is a strong ligand, so the pairing will occur, and in this case NiCO4, these electrons will get paired up. 1 2 3 already were there and these 2 electrons get paired up. So here you are left with one vacant d orbital, 4s and 4p. So this one CO will give electron here, second, third and fourth. So they are giving 1 in D, 1 in S and 2 in P, dsp2. Shape will be square planar, right? And all the electron, because it is paired, it is diamagnetic. Next is and the last example is NiCN4. Again nickel 3d8 4s2. Right, now 3d8 4s2, if we'll calculate x minus 4 equal to minus 2, this becomes plus 2. So Ni plus 2, 2 electron moves out, it becomes 3d8 4s0. Now in this case d8 and 4s and 4p. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this in 3D there are 8 electron, 4s and 4p after the removal of 2 electron. Cyanide is again a strong ligand. So when it is a strong ligand, the pairing will occur. This pairing will occur, and cyanide will give the electron in 1d, 1s and 2p. So 1d, d, 1s, p2. So shape will be square planar and number of electrons are paired. So this is diamagnetic.